Hey guys, welcome back to the bench. I'm Jay, and on the bench today, we're going to talk about two sets of steel toe work boots or slash tennis shoes, or sneakers for that matter, that you can purchase that are very comfortable, and we're going to give them a review. Okay, so again, welcome back to the bench. I'm glad you joined me. Let's get to it. So first thing we're going to talk about are the Larnmern work. I think they classify them as sneakers. Okay, I wouldn't classify them as sneakers, but that's what they classify them as. So the first one are going to be these. These are the Larnmern work sneakers. So a couple of things. One, they have a steel toe composite that comes to about right here on the toe. Okay. Now, first of all, if you have a wide foot or narrow foot, it doesn't matter. This shoe is very flexible and it will provide good uh, flexibility for anybody with a wide foot. If you're kind of concerned about that, you don't have to worry about that with this shoe. And they come on size. So if you wear a 9.5, a 10, 11, they're exactly on size. So that's perfect. Something to this one to get it off, let you know, is the way you adjust them is by these little bungee cords that are on the top. Okay, it's the way they use them. And essentially what it is there is a little ball. You might be able to see it inside of there, and I'll see if I can get a good angle for it. But essentially you can push this down, this little piece right here, and there's a little ball inside of there. You pop it loose, it's like a little cap. And there's a little knot basically on the end of the string, okay? And basically you just adjust the knot and wherever you want the knot to lie, and it'll tighten it down versus loosening it up, essentially. Okay, that's how you do it. These shoes are very, very comfortable. Okay, um, they're so comfortable that I know several people in my workshop area. They have several pair of these, and some guys actually want them for home. So they actually have an extra pair they have for like around the house. Okay, so if you're somebody who's around the house and maybe you don't like a how some house shoes are very flimsy. They don't give you a lot of support. If you're somebody who likes to put on some shoes around the house, but maybe don't walk out to the mailbox and maybe run to the local like little store down the road or whatever, and you don't really like to change your shoes a lot. For these to be steel toes, these are so comfortable. Okay, they're so lightweight. I've literally had sneakers that are heavier than these shoes right here. Okay, you're going to be hard pressed to find something as light as this. Okay. Now, as far as the type of person who's going to purchase this particular shoe, if you're somebody who is working in an area where you have a lot of tripping hazards, if you're somebody who has to do a lot of lifting, a lot of ankle support that you need, this is not the shoe for you. Okay. This is for somebody who works in an environment who needs a steel toe shoe, but maybe you sit around a lot. Maybe you don't do a lot of walking around. Maybe you are required to wear steel toes in maybe your environment, but as an individual do not do a lot of lifting and moving around. Okay, there's a lot of industries like that. These are perfect for somebody like that. Okay, they're so lightweight, so flexible. Okay, so comfortable. Once you put these on, you really wouldn't want to put on anything else. Now, let you guys know, my company pays for us to have work boots every year. You can pick, as long as they're steel toes, they really don't care. Um, and sometimes you get two a year. Okay, so a lot of people I work at have, we have literally a collection of these things in our houses. Okay, because some people are working it for 20, 30 years and you get two a year. Do the math. Okay. Um, so like I said, these right now are what's in my building. Everybody's rocking these, okay? And they come with a lot of different designs, patterns, and colors. So they have a little bit of everything to fit your, whichever design or color you want. They definitely have it for you. And I will, scroll some across the screen here in a little bit and let you guys see the different little, uh, different ones they have, okay, to give you a little bit of an option. All right. Now, these are a little bit, like I said, these are waterproof to a degree. They are slip resistant, but they are waterproof to a degree. Now, keep in mind, once you start getting water up along around him, this area, there's no longer waterproof. Okay. That's why, again, if you need depending on what you do for a living, if you need more of a higher boot to support your ankle, this is not going to be for you. These guys right here. Okay. Now, these were what I had prior to these. I thought that these were some of the lightest work boots I've worked tennis shoe sneakers that I've experienced. And these are light compared to others. Okay. They're out there and they're also extremely comfortable. Okay. So if you're looking for a shoe that is extremely comfortable when you walk. So if you're somebody who has to do a lot of walking and standing on your feet, and you do want something that laces up a little bit more, like a tennis shoe, to give you that little bit more support, this is probably where you want to go. These are extremely light. You can tell that these are old. I have been wearing these. You can see right here that has uh, the little, I guess, like flex, I guess, little, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, like cushions, I guess, on the bottom of them, but they do work. Okay. Awesome shoes. These are some of the shoes that I did put a insert inside of them. Okay. I like to put work inserts inside of all my shoes when I work. Um, but you really don't need it with these particular shoes. Okay. So if you're looking for a really light tennis shoe, overnight work tennis shoe with a steel toe, this is a good option. You can't go wrong with these, but they are heavier than these. So I'm just letting you guys know these are heavier, but you wouldn't know that if you just purchased these off the rip. You wouldn't know that. You would really think that these are significantly lighter. You only notice it once you go switch over to these shoes, how much heavier these are. But like I said, compared to most steel toes, these are light. Okay. So so a couple things. If you do like to put a lot of inserts or sole support, like gel inserts inside your shoes, keep in mind that the problem you may have with this particular shoe is that the distance between the base of the shoe versus the height is very small. Okay, so you may have a situation where your top of your foot may be pressing up against this surface right here. Now it's not painful, it's not uncomfortable, but I tried it and I removed my inserts from this shoe because it was pressing up there a little bit. Okay, and I didn't like the feeling of it when you're walking. So just kind of keep that in mind when you have inserts inside of boots. Boots that typically kind of from the base to the top of the boot kind of has a little bit more room for that insert to go into, if that makes any sense. And then you kind of cinch your boot down onto it once you get your foot into it. So kind of keep that in mind when you do purchase these, if you like to wear inserts. Okay. Um, these are waterproof. This particular one right here, they are waterproof, and these are puncture resistant from the top and from the bottom. Okay, so these particular shoes say that if you have a nail, you step into a nail right here, supposedly it's not going to go through your shoe and it's not going to hurt your foot or damage your toe. So that's also a plus. And like I said, with these being slip resistant, these are good for environments like that. So if you're like a mechanic or somebody like that who maybe doesn't need full ankle support, but you do want a comfortable shoe, that maybe you do want to have a little bit, so in case you drop like a wrench or you have maybe like nails or something on the ground, these are good for that. Okay. Um, so yeah, guys, these are some they're fairly cheap shoes as far as the pricing goes. I believe these are both like around $40. Okay. And they do fluctuate on the price. I will leave a link in the description for both of these, but they do fluctuate around 40. I think these are like 43 right now. Okay. But by all means, guys, if you're in the market for some good safety steel toe slash tennis shoes type style shoes, these are definitely go to, especially these right here. Okay. By all means, thank you for joining the bench. Thank you for rocking with me one more time. And if you like what you see, by all means, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you. Until next time.